Hey, Canucks fans, it is Canucks game day, thank goodness, and the Canucks prepare to host Steven Stamkos and the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm Canuck Clay, and this is my Canucks take all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Wednesday, January the 18th. If you're new, here's what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for daily Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. Not going to the game tonight. It's Wednesday night, so I got to take care of my church duties tonight, running religious education for the kids. My son Sean will be at the game. And I do have Game Over Vancouver, though, right after the game. So I hope you join me on the Steve Dangle Podcast Network right here on YouTube for Game Over Vancouver. I'll finish that, take a breather, and then I'll do my own show as well at 11 p.m. So I hope you can join me for both of those shows tonight. Game Over right at the end of the game around 9:45 or 10, and then my own show starting at 11 o'clock. So the Canucks played Tampa as part of their 5-game road trip last week. They lost 5-4. Tampa got out to pretty solid lead. Actually, Canucks started well, then Tampa took control of the middle part of the game, and then the Canucks had 2 late goals, but weren't able to finish the comeback. So they lost 5-4, but a decent effort. It wasn't like the Canucks gave up or did not play, got dominated for the entire game. Tampa is a good team, and the most notable thing about that game was Steven Stamkos scored goal number 499, career goal 499 of his career. Yeah, that's what a career goal is. Career goal 499 early in the third period. And the Tampa Bay Lightning players proceeded to try and set him up with every possible scoring chance for the rest of the period, the rest of the game, to try and get him to 500 career goals. And it wasn't meant to be. And guess what? He hasn't scored since then. So he's still sitting on 499. Will he hit it against the Canucks tonight? We shall see. Usually the Canucks have a knack of 2 things. One of them is letting players hit milestones or break records against them. So that could happen tonight. Or sometimes the Canucks lose against a goaltender who we've never even heard of. Now, that won't happen. It'll be Brian Elliott as opposed to Andrei Vasilevsky, but we've heard of Brian Elliott. It's not like he is a no-name. So let's go over to the Canucks side, and we'll start in goal. Spencer Martin will make the start in net. And then on the blue line, it's interesting. Ben Kuzma and Brendan Batchelor tweeted out different pairings only for the third and fourth pairing. So we know at least they practiced with Oyel Myers and Hughes and Shen. And then I think it's going to be Dermott and Bear, although Batchelor had it as Bear and Burrows today. So I think it's going to be Dermott and Bear as long as Dermott's healthy. And then you have Stillman and Burrows as your extra skaters on the blue line. Up front, it looks like the same type of combinations. So you have Horvat with Miller and Garland as your first line, Pettersson with Kuzmenko and Besser as your second line. No, sorry, Mikheyev, Pettersson, and Besser as your second line. So that means that Kuzmenko will likely play with Sheldon Dries and Jack Studnicka on a third line, intriguing third line. And then your fourth line is Joshua, Lazar, and Lockwood. So again, Miller, Horvat, Garland, Pettersson, Besser, Mikheyev, Kuzmenko, Dries, Studnicka, Joshua, Lazar, and Lockwood. That means Lane Peterson will be your extra forward. Interesting wrinkle on the Canucks special teams, well, in particular the power play. It's not Brock Besser. It's not Andrei Kuzmenko. It's Connor Garland on the top unit. So you have Hughes up top. You have Miller, Horvat, Petey across the middle. The middle, not middle of the ice, but middle layer. You know what I mean. And then with Horvat being in the bumper. And then it looks like Connor Garland will get a chance to play net front and behind the net. So again, Garland, not Kuzmenko, not Besser, but Garland. So that means Kuzmenko and Besser on their second unit. You have Oyel up top. You had Kuzmenko in the bumper. Then you had Besser on his left, so setting up for the one-timer from that left side. Then you had Mikheyev on the other end, and you had Sheldon Dries playing net front. So the second unit certainly doesn't sound as lethal or as dangerous, but they've Sheldon Dries in particular, they've come up with some pretty important goals throughout the season when it comes to the second power play unit. So that's how the Canucks will line up tonight against a very, and I mentioned this last week, against a very good Tampa Bay Lightning team. They're big. They got big guys like Perry and Maroon and Hedman. They're skilled, and guys like Stamkos and Kucherov, of course, and they're very fast as well, and guys like Point. So it's going to be a big challenge for the Canucks. Now, when you look at everything, so that's on the ice. And give me a score prediction. I would love to say Canucks 4-2, but I want to try and be a little more realistic for the second half of the season. So I'll pick some Canucks wins. I'll pick some Canucks losses. Originally, I had Tampa 3-2, but I think the Canucks might be inspired by a likely moving tribute to Gino Odjick. So I'm going Canucks to win, not 4-2, but 3-2. I'm going Canucks 3-2 to win tonight. That is my official prediction. And I'm going to say that it is Bo Horvat as the first Canucks goal scorer, breaking the 30-goal plateau. He's at 30 goals right now. Give me your score prediction and your prediction for first Canucks goal scorer. Now let's quickly talk about the Canucks off the ice. We've been talking about that for the last couple of days. Of course, Gino passed away on Sunday, and it sounds like the team is going to honor him tonight, which would make a lot of sense. Then, of course, it was the big press conference on Monday morning. Jim Rutherford meeting with the media for 45 minutes. I've broken that down quite extensively over the past couple of days here on this channel. But I'm always interested to see what happens. How do the players react in the first game after such a big story like that? In particular, guys like Horvat and Kuzmenko, guys who were spoken about in the press conference. So that will be another thing to look at as well. Horvat saying that they want to win this one for Gino, and that makes a lot of sense. So I do think there's going to be a really neat energy in the arena, and a lot of it will have to do with the fact that they'll likely kick off the night with a tribute to Gino Odjick. Finally, there's been a lot of talk, and I talked about this last week, a lot of inertia around this free the skate movement, and people were saying, oh, will the Canucks break out a new flying skate jersey for the last part of the season as their third jersey? And then this morning, they're wearing black helmets, black gloves, black shorts, black socks, obviously black skates, and kind of feeling that hypothesis that it could happen tonight. Now, I don't know that for sure, but I guess the one thing that what's really interesting is, interesting to me is I'm going to have a guy on Game Over named Trent Leith. And Trent writes for stadiumchinatown.ca and a nice Vancouver Canucks blog. And he's the one that's kind of been on top of this Free the Skate movement campaign, whatever you want to call it, ever since he watched the Canucks opening video in October. So I'm going to bring him on to Game Over Vancouver, the Steve Dangle show, and just get his thoughts, let him articulate his case, so to speak. And who knows, maybe we'll be talking about it on a night where the Canucks actually free the skate and wear some new jerseys, or maybe it'll continue to be speculation for another game later in the year. So make sure you join me for Game Over Vancouver. My guest will be Trent Leith, and then my own show a few minutes after that. Give me your score prediction, give me your first Canucks goal scorer, and anything else you want to talk about today. Shout out to my sponsors, Van Seat Experts Real Estate and Perform and Transform Personal Training and Weight Loss. Thank you, legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Justin Credible, legendary Andrew Chang, Hall of Fame members, franchise members, and thanks to all of you. I appreciate your generosity. I appreciate your loyalty on this channel. As always, subscribe if you'd like to, like this video if you like to, leave a donation, become a member, upgrade your membership if you like to, and definitely leave a comment down below if you like to. Score prediction and first Canucks goal scorer. There you go, friends. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the game. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. We'll see you tonight on one of my 2 post-game shows. God bless, and go Canucks go.